Yo boys, today's gonna be a quick one, but first order of business, we talking like absolute gentlemen because we're here to bring back class, and that just comes with one talking at a time. And for my crusaders, billions will talk. If you know, you know. However, this is not going to be a very long video today. The amount of people that take how they feel so damn seriously is one of the biggest problems I see. And you guys know this if you've been here before. I am pro moving with your heart. Everything's about the spirit. But people mistake the spirit for feeling. Like if I'm not happy right now, or if today's a really rough day, or if I'm angry right now, or if this. The problem is you put too much of an emphasis on your emotions. Like part of being a dude and part of the spirit, and this is where for me, you guys know I'm not pro stoicism in terms of like how it's brought up, where it's like, hey, if everything pisses you off, you just remain. There's a time and place to remain calm, but also vocalize. But it's so important to understand that you just gotta weather it sometimes. Shit's discouraging. Sometimes things just don't go the way you want them to. Sometimes you feel a little bit off. Oh, I feel like life is missing. Or, man, why can't this person do this? And it's like, what you do is you get into like a hedonism. Like when people talk about hedonism, they only simply talk about it when it comes to partying and drinking and like fleeting emotion. It's like a form of self-pity when you just put such an emphasis of importance on how you feel and your emotions. Listen, as dudes, our lives, and this is my opinion, this is where some people might look at it differently. Our job isn't to feel elated all the time or to feel, oh, I feel so excited. It's a difference between feeling driven and being driven and feeling like on the spectrum, like excited. This is part of, the enlightenment that most people are trying to talk about. They go into the woods for 8 days at a time. They drink this stuff and they go into this different place and then they come out and they've released all their trauma. That's not at all how that works. The game of enlightenment, detachment, is the ultimate form of enlightenment because you should care about what you're doing. You should care about the shit that you put down on. If I'm gonna put my time into something, I care for it. Without a doubt, I care for it. But you gotta be detached from what ends up happening because it's out of your control. I'm not so attached to this life. I'm not so attached to how I feel all the time. That's real detachment. Everything, let me tell you something, when you find the beautiful mode that you're in, when you're in flow state, you start to realize a lot of these things are contradictory in nature. Just because you're detached doesn't mean you don't care, and that's how people think. Detached means I love where I'm at and I'm so grateful that I'm here. But at the end of the day, I'm not attached to these things that I'm around. This life is temporary because everything is spiritual. There is a part of it where it's like everything is spiritual and everything does come from your heart. Everything, your gut instinct, all of it, it's all a part of the game. And it's so important to have and to harness and to work on. But I'm detached from the things. And part of the things is sometimes feelings at some point. We're gonna walk down every time, oh, I feel off, something's off. You see it in the health space, you see it when it comes to mental health, you see it everywhere. Oh, I woke up this morning and I was a little bit groggy. I gotta go back to my elaborate supplement stack and make sure that everything is X, Y. And it's no difference with emotion. Sometimes things just happen. You feel a certain way just because you feel that way. Obviously, if it's for a prolonged period, there's probably some issues. But like anytime something gets you off kilter, you're just so easy to break. You're so easy to manipulate. That's why everyone's manipulated by fear, because it's the easiest way to manipulate people, especially when you're not sure of yourself. This is part of news stations, right? And even you can see it when it comes to social media when there's certain names being pushed out. Those aren't coincidences, and it's because they yield certain types of emotions that make you so easily manipulated because you worry about how you feel so much. And it's because you're so damn attached to just everything. And the thing is when you play the feelings game, I am telling you, it is a self-pity game. I shouldn't feel this way. What do you mean you shouldn't feel this way? If I'm in the middle of a workout and it's grueling, the difference is because I have so much experience, I know that this process gives me this on the other end, that I know that that feeling doesn't mean much. Yeah, it's super uncomfortable right now, but on the other end, I know what happens. And that's why experience, you wear a calmness to you. There's a different look in your eye. And even with businesses, there's some things that I know would throw people off to where they're like, I can't do this anymore. And they'll just wrap it up. But if a business owner knows this is just a part of the course because I know what we get on the other side, that's experience talking because he doesn't allow his emotions to dictate how he feels. People mistake that for logic over emotion, but take it a step further. In my opinion, it's a very elementary way of looking at it because logical means this, it's not that. You move from this, you're just detached from whatever it is. Like from the moment what you're feeling, it's all right. It's a part of the game. It's a part of your process. And the thing is, it's so funny because I feel like I always have to do this because it's just a little bit higher level for people, but then people go into everything suffering. It's like, yes, there's always going to be an element of suffering required if you want to get to a certain level of life. That is a law. There's nothing you can do to break that. But you see, even people that are and do walk into some success, they start getting to a point where they just feel like something's off, and then they end up playing a convenience game. It's like everything, like, you don't realize this, but everything can snowball in a direction that you might think at the time is great because you feel great, but typically on the back end, it doesn't yield great stuff. I really do believe that. I think in the moment, they always say, and this is actually one of the few adages I would say is so true, the road to heaven feels like hell, and the road to hell feels like heaven. And that's the truth of it. And that's why sometimes you really need to remove yourself from how you feel about things. You just have to make sure you are headed to the place that is considered heaven, right? I'm talking about even obviously, like, listen, I'm a Muslim. You know, I'm a man of God. I have a ton of even Orthodox Christian friends. You know, we all see eye to eye on this stuff, but it even applies to this life. Like the things that you're after, make sure like it's okay to suffer in the moment, and I think it's always going to be required, but make sure you're suffering because you know where you're going. And it makes you a lot less easily manipulated. Don't fall into this trap of self-pity and, oh, I don't feel this way. I feel off today, and I felt off for the past 36 hours. I know something's wrong. You can't play that game. You gotta hold on to sometimes ugly emotions and not throw them on to other people too. It's okay for you to weather some emotions that are difficult to wrestle with. Because at the end of the day, every time you feel something, you gotta say something, you gotta do something, you're easily you can be maneuvered, man. Like, you gotta be able to absorb some blows. There might be some things you don't agree with. Just on an objective level, you don't agree with, right? And you're mad about it. But there's a time and place to vocalize those things and to know who to vocalize those things to, and to complain to a friend that has no business knowing about this stuff. And then as a result, what you need comfort in your feeling. Sometimes you just need to wear the feeling versus think, is something off or whatever. No. Sometimes you just gotta wear it. And you wanna know something, you come out on the other end, and there is something about you in the best way you callous a certain part of your mind that just almost as that little kid. You're almost breaking down that little kid that's inside you. For girls, they can preserve that, you know, that innocence all the way through, God willing. I think they become much better, and this is my opinion, when they have that. But for us dudes, we're different. It's not that we break the innocence within us, because people think of that as in like, you just can't be a good person. It's like, no, you always maintain the decorum and the morality of your heart. But the innocence in terms of like, I'm sad. Like, you gotta sometimes just stop, don't say that. Because it's an addicting feeling. You'll just keep on looking for it over and over and over again because it gives you that temporary hit and you're good to go. Screw that. Wear it. It ain't gonna kill you. But this is something I see way too often. It's just people put so much of an emphasis on how they feel right now. Way too much. And I always talk about living in the now. But that doesn't mean your feelings is the now. Matter of fact, you're actually taking yourself from the now because you're like, how do I feel? Why do I feel this way? You take yourself away from it versus just rolling with it. Anyways, I appreciate watching this video. I hope this is well worth your time. If there's anything you guys want more specifically, you guys know the deal. Drop it down in the comments, and if people like those comments, give those a thumbs up, and that way I don't make a video on it. Please, by the way, if you like this channel, like, comment, subscribe on my YouTube shit. A little bit of a segue. Someone told me to do that, and I was like, you know, I will do it, but I'll do it my way. You know, I'm going to do it my way. In my head, like, if you like this video and you don't like it, what's wrong with you? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You're already on. Unless you don't have an email maybe attached to YouTube, and it's like, I'm not going to start one to do that or whatever. Comment, you know, just to let me know you're here. I don't want to make these videos for myself. I already got, listen, I got Crusadia, I got the Crusaders. They're ready to rock and roll. My guys are absolutely murdering it right now. Talking 24/7. And to be honest with you, I released my highest level program that I gave to my coaching clients. And it was actually their idea to give it to the rest of Crusadia. That's the type of selflessness there is. Not, oh, I paid X amount of dollars for this and everyone else is getting it for only this much a month. It's like, yeah, the bargain's ridiculous. Once you get inside, you're like, I'm an absolute idiot for not joining sooner. Like, anyone that's actually on here, like, not joining, quite possibly one of the stupidest things you could do. And I mean that because it's a free cancellation, and I do that on purpose because I just know the moment you come inside, you're going to want to stick around. And the people that cancel, I always say like, they'll reach out to me prior, and I'm like, no, I think it's right for you to cancel. Because it's either for you or it's not, but at the bare minimum, you're walking out with thousands of dollars worth of resources for what? And I'm not going to tell you the price because I'm going to force you to click on the link down below in the description, and that way you can actually look through and read a little bit. So, that's what I love about YouTube is most of you guys aren't, zog slopped in the brain where everything's about scrolling. You can sit down and have an actual video where we just communicate, which is why I can just talk freely with you guys, man. YouTube is by far the platform I'm most myself on. And it's just because it's long form, short form is 60 seconds. You have to talk super fast. You got to go through this. Oh, this is why you do this. And it's much more mechanistic. I don't like doing that. But I love you guys very much. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders to my Crusaders inside Crusadia. I love you guys more than anything, man. You guys got me. I know you guys still watch these videos, and that's why I'm going to keep on doing them. Real talk. I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace.